Good afternoon, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer, and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today's message is all about a play that I went to, or the idea came from a play that I actually went to at the Melbourne Arts Centre last night, which was really interesting and something completely different to anything I've ever seen before. And I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was just a great sort of concept, and also it sort of sparked and triggered some really sort of deep sort of thought and deep sort of insight based on this story. So what it really was, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of, there's this play called White Rabbit, Red Rabbit. And basically it has been, it's a play that the actor, there's one actor or actress, and they actually get given the script on stage. So they've never seen it before in their life and they have no idea what's to happen. And they literally have to read the script to the audience and sort of act it out and so forth. And anyway, a bunch of the audience get involved in all sorts of things, but it's a really great concept. Like, the actor has no idea about any of the words on the script or what it's all about. All they know is it's called White Rabbit, Red Rabbit. But why I felt really called to share this with you guys was ultimately because the play is written by an Iranian man who was a conscientious objector. So all Iranian men, it's mandatory for them to enter the military force and I think serve 2 years. And yeah, he was a conscientious objector for that and decided, no, I'm not doing that. And what it cost him was his ability to leave Iran. So he can't travel. He can't leave his own country because, he refused to take part in the military. And so why it was so beautiful is that the script is written as if he is talking through the actor. And it's just different to anything that I've ever experienced. And it starts off like really quite funny, and people in the audience are like having to be rabbits and ostriches and all sorts of stuff, right? It's kind of like, it's funny, we're all laughing, it's great. And the actor just has no idea. And this beautiful actress, Australian actress, Kat Stewart, from any Aussies listening, if you watch Offspring, it's Billy. She was the actress, and I love her. She's just a brilliant, brilliant woman. And she was just totally caught off guard. So it was quite funny and we all sort of felt like we were part of it. But, it started off funny and then it got kind of serious. And it brought up some really major issues in terms of, or ideas around conformity. And, and hearing this difference in culture, I live here in Australia and we don't have those same sort of mandatory military service and things like that. That sounds crazy to us. And the fact that your country can take away your rights to travel, it was just kind of hit home, like, wow, and it was so beautiful that this script was written by this Iranian man back in 2010, and he even states the date, and he's it's like he's there. It's really incredible, and it is his way. He has found a way to travel the world without physically being able to, and enter sort of the worlds of others. And this script has been read now in Australia, in Paris, in London, in New York, like all around the world. People have been inspired by his words, and have been brought to laughter through his script and his wit. And it just brought up this idea of non-conformity. And what I wanted to mention about it was that, I told you it's kind of funny and then it gets really serious. Like, it talks about terrorism, it talks about suicide, it really gets kind of dark, but it's real, and it's the stuff that we don't want to address, we don't really want to talk about. And he did a brilliant job at mixing that seriousness with that humor, and it really got you questioning, because at the only props for this play were 2 glasses of water, where one person from the audience was asked to stir this vial of powder into one of those glasses. And we never quite know, there was moments in time where we had to close our eyes and things were changing on stage, and Anyway, by the end of it, the actor has to drink one of these glasses if she's game enough to. And the idea is, will you conform with this? It could be poisonous. Like, you don't know, where you've got that from, or whether that's part of the act or not, and whatnot. And at the end, we're all told to leave this actress after she's drunk the water that could potentially have been poisoned. We leave her on the floor, and no matter how she responds, we all leave. We all get up in unison and we leave. And it's just this conformity, and we actually don't even know. Like, I've even thought today, like, even though it's a play, and you think like, oh yeah, it's just part of the play. Like, I've actually thought to myself, maybe I should check if she's still alive, who knows? But anyway, that's the sort of concept and idea behind the play. And it got me thinking and wanting to share this message with you guys about, where in your life are you blindly conforming, and really thinking about the true power of non-conformity. When you decide for yourself, no, I'm not going to conform. I'm not going to go along, this supposed path that's supposed to be right for me just because everybody else is doing it. And it got me thinking about just how much we do conform. Like, people from stage, we were all given a number. People from the audience, were asked to come up on stage, depending on their number, and just do this crazy stuff and conform to it, and mix poison into water, and that the actress is going to potentially drink, and you just don't know, but we all conform to the words read by by this actress, from the perspective of this Iranian man. Like, it was like he was present in the room and he was guiding everybody to do this crazy stuff. And it was just just got us thinking about that idea, how to bring that into our lives. Like, where in our lives are we just conforming at the expense of our own truth? And ultimately, if you don't have fulfillment in your life, if your life, you feel like you have no meaning, I challenge you to really question, where in your life right now are you just conforming? And you haven't actually questioned. You're just blindly conforming to what other people are telling you what to do, or what society tells you what to do, or what's expected of you. And ultimately, even though this Iranian man, he had the gift of traveling the world and experiencing the different cultures, in the physical, taken away from him, based on his non-conformity, he has such a sense of fulfillment and gratitude for what he gets to do. And he gives out his email address, and he gets everybody taking photos and all sorts of stuff in order to send it to him, so that he can be living it in the moment. And in each and every one of these plays, there is one seat left in the front row for him. It's like this idea of his presence being there. And anyway, I just wanted to share this. This is a very, very different Facebook Live for me to do for you guys today, and I do hope that it's valuable. But I felt really called to share something a bit different with you guys today based on this play, because it kind of blew my mind. It was just so different to what I've ever seen, and I love going to musicals and plays and all sorts of stuff. So it just sort of like got me thinking, and I really thought that that basic idea of, just taking ourselves out of the picture and just having a meta perspective on our lives and what we do in our lives, and seeing and questioning, where are we conforming at the expense of our truth? And even though we may be scared to go against that conformity because of what might potentially be taken away from us, ultimately I want to send you guys the message that it is when we do not conform with things that are not in alignment with our truth, with who we are, with what we know to feel right, that is where life begins. And there is nothing more powerful than that experience of non-conforming with things that don't align with who you are. Because ultimately, I wanted to bring in this other message from Dr. John Demartini, and I love what he said. He said that we are born into our families in order to teach the members of that family or that tribe or whatever that community how to love unconditionally. And I think that this is really in alignment with that non-conformity piece, because there's so many of us that we start living this life of expectation, of the life we think we should be living based on what we're told by, say, our families, our society, and ultimately we don't feel fulfilled. And it is in that non-conformity. It's when we have the courage to say, hey, this isn't right for me. This isn't how I'm meant to live my life. And we break free from that. Hey, we might lose our family members. We might lose our community. But ultimately, like Dr. John DeMartini says, you're giving your family, the people that may potentially disown you in the short term, the opportunity to learn how to unconditionally love. And I think that there is no greater gift than giving that gift to somebody to be able to love without condition. That is what life is about. It's about loving fully and being loved fully. And the only way to do that is to get rid of those conditions. And sometimes that gift comes in the form of somebody you love, somebody you care about, being, a non-conformist, and going against your rules, your expectations, and finding a way back to love at an ever increasing level, because they're not abiding by your conditions, and you're able to push past that and love them for who they are. Love them because they are showing you what courage looks like to live a life that is true to who you are. And I just think that that's really, really powerful. And I hope that this weird message that I'm bringing to you guys today is of value. I hope that it gets you sort of questioning and thinking about, where in your life are you just blindly conforming and you're not feeling good, like you're not fulfilled. And maybe you need to build that courage to step out of that and say no and find a path that is in alignment with who you are. And God, I've been going on for so long today, so I'm going to check in with you guys and definitely see who's joined me. I love you guys. Agneta, Moises, Alvarison, and Caden, and Diaz, and David, and Robin. Yes, awesome. Awesome. I'm glad that you're here, Robin. Thank you so much. And Jonathan, nice to have you. And Caden, and Ali, and Sean, and Michael, and Joseph. Yes. Awesome. And Rajvia, and awesome. I'm so grateful that you're back, David, and you're finding this inspiring. That makes my day. And Don, nice to have you. And Anne, my friend, and Bambi. Joseph, this is awesome. Yes, you made it back, Anne. Nice, so nice to have you back. And Shane, my friend, you're back too. I love it. And Laval, and Superman, and Jen. Great things come from following your instinct and true passions. So true, Jen. Thank you for sharing your words of wisdom there. I love that. That's so true. That great things do come when you start living courageously in alignment with your truth. That is where life begins. That is where you find your fulfillment, and you hone those gifts. You discover, hone, and give the gifts that you uniquely have to give back to the world. And making a difference is everything when it comes to how you feel about yourself, you feel about life, and you ultimately don't live a life filled with regrets. It's all about finding that meaning and that sense of contribution. So I love that, Jen. Thank you for sharing. And Luciano, and Patricia, and Hyungal, and Brian, sometimes fear drives you to conform, fear of consequences. Definitely. I would say that, most of the time, anytime you are conforming with something deep down is not in alignment with the truth of who you are in fear. You're fear of the consequences, fear of being rejected, fear of not being loved. All of these sort of things that pull at our deepest core instincts of survival are triggered, in that sense of, we're too scared to, go against the grain here. So my best and biggest advice to you in that regard is the clearer and more certain you get about who you truly are and what you truly want, ultimately you get to a point where there's just no going back. Like you're so certain of who you are and what you want that the fears of others, and the consequences that you're fearing, they just dissipate because there's no other way. And I've definitely had that experience, going throughout my life and, just doing everything that I felt was expected of me. Like I am the worst personality suited to becoming a lawyer, and that's the path that I was on up until just a few years ago. And I was so scared of the consequences that I didn't have the confidence or the courage to step out of that. And it wasn't until I got so much more clarity over who I really was, I gave myself permission to ask myself what I really wanted. That is what gave me the courage and confidence to be able to handle everything that got thrown at me, and being disowned by my family, and all of that crazy stuff that, my worst fears came true. And I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. Your worst fears might come true. But what I'm saying is that life is not lived until you align with your truth. And my family have completely come around, I could see that, their intention was just to make me happy. They wanted me happy. And ultimately their model of the world was just a lot different in terms of how to be happy. And I've been able to teach them how to lower their conditions, get rid of their conditions and expectations, and ultimately love unconditionally. And that is the greatest gift that you can give everybody. So definitely have the courage to give yourself the greatest gift, to align with your truth and move from that place. And in turn, you actually give the gift to everybody in your vicinity to learn how to love unconditionally and inspire them to courageously step forth in alignment with their own truth. So awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Brian. That was awesome. And Asif, yes, are you saying love drives non-conformity? Great question. I love that. So I think that love drives non-conformity to something that is not in alignment with your truth. I think that we can conform with things that are in alignment with us, and that's coming from a place of love. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's just love with non-conformity, because I do believe that there are things in our lives, in society, in our families, whatever it is, that we do consciously conform to, that are driven totally by love, and that there are things that we need to be non-conformatory with in terms of being in love and following that alignment. So I hope that answered that question. I hope that made sense there, Brian, and I appreciate so much your wise questions. I love that. And Asif, awesome. And Mick, nice to have you. I'm so grateful that this is an awesome message for you, Caden. Thank you so much. And Julie from Iowa, nice to have you. Thanks, Moises. Hope you're having a great day too. And BJ Miller says, learn to love well. Oh, whoa, nearly did something weird. I can't see the rest of it. Learn to love well, not in spite of death, but because of death. Learn to love well, not in spite of death, but because of death. Oh, I love that, Anne. And that's why I love having you live all the time. So what a great concept to sort of think into and, really be introspective around. Learn to love well, not in spite of death, but because of death. I love that. I'm going to really think into that too, Anne. So I appreciate you sharing that with me and with all of us here. And Maritesh, awesome. And Jen, not a weird message at all. It's a very powerful one. Staying stuck out of fear holds. Yep, be the example of others. Awesome, Jen. I'm so grateful that this resonated with you. I know I was just taking this crazy turn and I needed to share it with you because that play, you guys get to it. Like, look it up in your local area. It's just a fascinating sort of way of, an experience. And I think, I wrote down that the guy's name was Nassim Soleimanpour. I hope I said that right. Nassim Soleimanpour. And just this Iranian playwright. Just phenomenal. So definitely, if you can get to it in a city near you, definitely do it. Jeremy, nice to have you. Awesome. You night owl. And Lauren, your messages are so spot on in my life right now. Oh, I'm so grateful to hear that, Lauren. Thank you so much. It makes my day knowing that my messages are resonating with you guys, because ultimately that's my purpose. I'm trying to add value to you guys, and the only way I know how to do that is to talk about what matters to me and what really resonates with me, in the hope that because we're human beings, we're going to resonate with the same similar things and share like-mindedness there. So thank you so much for your awesome kind words, Jeremy. Appreciate you so much. And Brian, very thought-provoking, awesome. And Dana, you're back. Awesome to have you. So guys, that was really my topic for you guys today. I hope it's been valuable. It's all talking into, ultimately, it's about unconscious and conscious conformity. Just be conscious. It's not about just, going against every single rule out there and just, making it all up and going against everything, just breaking all the rules, although, do it if it's not in alignment with your truth. It's ultimately just being conscious about what you are conforming with and what you're blindly just conforming with that's at the expense of your truth. And my hope and wish is that you guys just start, this triggers you to start questioning what you're conforming with blindly and what you're choosing consciously to conform with, or to have that non-conformity. And no matter what the cost, ultimately the greatest cost that will ever be, be made is by not aligning with your truth. That probably didn't even make sense, but honestly, that is really, there's no greater cost than going against your truth for your life. So make sure that you are on that journey of uncovering the truth of who you really are, the truth of what you really want, and you're building that confidence and courage that to just go after it. And ultimately, when you get crystal clear on the truth of who you are and what you want, that courage piece, it just becomes inevitable. The more clear you get on who you are and what you want, there's just no going back, despite the consequences that are going to be there. And like I said, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. You are going to have those costs and consequences, just like that Nassim Solomon Poor had when he, went against being in the military. It cost him. One of my greatest things that I love to do is travel the world. I couldn't imagine having that taken away from me. And he has, but he's found a way to be true to who he is and ultimately get to experience, and travel the world in the form of paper and words. And it's just really inspiring. So guys, I hope that was powerful. And if you have any questions, last comments, definitely drop them by right now. Justin, my new friend, nice to have you here. And Robin, thank you for starting my day with your magical words. I appreciate you so much. I'm really, really grateful that this is powerful for you. And Carolyn, nice to have you. And Dana, I'm working so hard on improving my life. Thanks for your help. You have to be totally honest with yourself before your life can get happier. Thank you so much for those kind words, Dana, and I honor you on your journey. I love nothing more than seeing people own their own personal growth and go on that journey of improving their lives, and discovering their truth and what they really want. And sometimes that takes being a nonconformist, even if there are some scary consequences. Just trust in the process of aligning with your truth and trust that is where all of your fulfillment lays. So, if you're feeling unfulfilled, it's because you're conforming with something that's not in alignment with who you are and what you want. So go on that journey of discovering it. And I appreciate you so much, Dana. Thank you for sharing there. And Juanita, nice to have you. Robin, you're so welcome. Thank you so much, and same to you. That's it from me today, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. You know how much I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys, and I love engaging with you guys. You light up my world, like I always say, and I would love nothing more than to connect deeper with you. And add more value to your lives. So definitely if you have any feedback for me as to how I could be adding some seriously more value to you guys, and definitely let me know. Reach out in a comment or a message, and I'd love to hear from you. And if I haven't met you already, definitely jump on a 15-minute power session. I open those calls up so I can connect one-on-one with each of you. I love it. I love meeting you from all across the globe, and I love helping you to find a new perspective so that you can break through whatever your current transition or challenge is in your life right now. I want to help you to uncover who you really are, what you really want, and build that confidence and that courage to go after it and start living your life now. So definitely jump on one of those calls, and thank you so much. Same to you, Kaden. That is such beautiful words. Thank you so much. And guys, I am off, and I hope that you have a brilliant day or night wherever you are in the world. And I'm sending you all my love, light, blessings, gratitude, and energy, and everything coming at you. And I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow.